Kyrie Irving returning to one of his old stomping grounds as his Brooklyn Nets are in Boston to take on the Celtics, a rematch from the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. And honestly, it was a sweep then, and this game, pretty much every quarter, was a sweep now. Brown and Tatum and these Boston Celtics put it on Brooklyn. It's already 27-7, a little over midway through the first quarter. Tatum lighting it up. How about 18 first quarter points for Tatum? It's 30-7, and Brown is like, that ain't enough. Another three. It's 35-9. Brown again, relentless in his approach. And one got the Celtics up big. It's already a 30-point game in the second. Grant Williams misses. The other Williams, Robert, does not. And then Brown again sticking it to Brooklyn for three. Brown had 7 3-pointers in this one. 26 points. Tatum spinning, winning, and Dillon down the lane. A 26-point affair. Tatum finding Robert. I actually think that might have been a pass for Brown. I don't know for certain, but it could have went to either guy. Either way, the same result was going down, an alley-oop. Tatum had 7 3-pointers just like Brown. It's already over in Boston. Just the only question is, how bad would it be? More JB in quarter number 3. Still a 30-point game. Derek White, no. Jason Tatum on the boards, yes. Tatum had 9 rebounds to go along with his 31 points. And this time around, Derek White does not miss. 36-point lead for the team in white and green. It's Tatum launching and once again connecting. He can now end his night early as the Celtics once again put it on the Nets. I know there was no Durant, but sheesh Louise, a 43-point grubbing by your reigning Eastern Conference champs. Well, if my voice is a little bit raspy, please forgive me. I got my 4 wisdom teeth pulled less than 24 hours ago. But trust and believe, once I woke up from the anesthesia, my phone was ringing off the hook, and I was so sad that I could not come on camera and talk about the biggest story out of the NBA, none other than Kyrie Irving demanding a trade away from the Brooklyn Nets after apparently over the last week or so, him, his agent, and Brooklyn have been communicating and discussing the potential of a long-term deal. Obviously, the Brooklyn Nets have been reluctant to give Kyrie a long-term deal, which is why Kyrie's like, all right, y'all need to move me before the deadline. Kyrie wants somewhere around 4 years, $200 million with the extension with Brooklyn. The Nets are like, let's play this season out, get to the offseason, and then kind of reevaluate things. If you remember, last offseason, Brooklyn kind of wanted to see more of a commitment from Kyrie on the court, keeping it more basketball related. Obviously, the season got off to a rocky start with Kyrie's promotion of the anti-Semitic film on his Twitter account, which led to his suspension. Since then, though, since Kyrie's comeback, he has been balling. It's not his fault Kevin Durant went down with injury. But nevertheless, it's not been a clean season from the Brooklyn Nets perspective. Kyrie's been playing really well, and I think from his vantage point, he's like, yo, this is the time to strike. The trade deadline is obviously this Thursday. Kyrie's not going to have pretty much any more leverage after that. This was his last hurrah, and I understand it. You know, I've been very critical of Kyrie over the years because I think he's made some very suspect decisions about his basketball career. He could be two things, right? A really good human being to a lot of people, but also a suspect teammate to guys like LeBron, to the Boston Celtics, and now to Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets. I understand, though, why he tried this last attempt to try to get some long-term security. I mean, Kyrie knows Kyrie better than anybody. He knows that he's flaky. He knows that he comes with a little bit of baggage, and he was trying to secure that long-term bag while he had some leverage. He's been playing really good ball, and the Brooklyn Nets pretty much are telling Kyrie and his representation, the ball that you've been playing is not enough. I want to just go through the last 5-6 years of Kyrie Irving's career. Obviously, he comes off the high, winning the championship in 16. 17, he reportedly wasn't talking to his Cavalier teammates. They lose to the Warriors. Obviously, after that, he gets traded. 18, he's in Boston. We understand the first season in Boston started out really great. Kyrie Irving gets injured at the end of the year, doesn't even show up for the Celtics Game 7 against his former team, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay, the 19 season. Kyrie Irving and the Boston Celtics, he's healthy, but they get bounced easily by a coming Giannis and the Bucks. 2020, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, they in Brooklyn. We obviously know Durant was out with the torn Achilles, but also Kyrie Irving was unavailable from the middle of the season, and he didn't really finish the season for Brooklyn in year one. That wasn't great. He was already talking about teammates that wouldn't be there long term. 21, you get Kyrie and KD alongside James Harden. By the end of the season, Kyrie Irving is injured. James Harden is injured, and even Kevin Durant can't beat the Milwaukee Bucks by himself. 22, obviously last year, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, both healthy. They get rolled by the Boston Celtics. I'm just going through this list of Kyrie Irving's career as of late, and there's a lot of injuries, a lot of getting blown out, and a lot of kind of questionable judgment from Kyrie Irving, the teammate. So you understand where the Brooklyn Nets are coming from. You get why they're like, yo, can we just get 1 year where you're focused on basketball? We're a really good team from start to finish. We won't have to play Boston in the first round of the playoffs. Can we just get one? And Kyrie couldn't even do that. And for that, it's unfortunate. Again, I'm not mad at Kyrie for trying to go after it this time around, that long-term security. There's not going to be 1,000 teams interested in Kyrie Irving this offseason, even if he is a free agent. Keep in mind, teams can only offer Kyrie Irving a 2-year, $70-some million extension if he were traded at the deadline. We're hearing the rumblings of the Lakers, the Mavericks, and the Suns all being teams interested in the service of Kyrie Irving. You want to make sure you're subscribed to the platform. We're going to talk about every team in separate videos and why they should maybe make a move for Kyrie and why they should not. The reality is, though, there's not going to be a lot of suitors with Kyrie this offseason, and he was trying to snag that bread from Brooklyn as quickly as he could right before the deadline. But you can't blame Brooklyn for saying no. This has not been a seamless transition. You are not Steph Curry, the winner. You are a fantastic basketball player, but for our franchise, you have not brought us a championship or gotten us close to it. So we're like, no, we're not giving you that money. But in the same token, you can't blame Kyrie for trying with his last little hump of leverage. We'll see what happens at the deadline. I doubt Kyrie Irving gets traded, and I also doubt that he sits out on Brooklyn if they do not acquiesce to his trade request. I think this was him calling the bluff one last time. I personally do not believe Kyrie Irving can afford to go into free agency and think teams are going to give him the money that Brooklyn's not committing to him right now if he opts to sit out and quit on another team. There's no way he thinks that's going to be favorable for him trying to get teams to commit $150 to $200 million to him this offseason. I just don't believe it. And then obviously there's the conversations of what happens with Kevin Durant following the news that Kyrie Irving is trying to bail on him again.